Let me tell you a harsh truth most people won't admit. Getting rich isn't just about what you do, it's about what you're willing to quit. I used to wake up every morning feeling behind, chasing success like it was some finish line that kept moving. I bought into the hustle, the late nights, the grind culture. I said yes to things I hated and no to things I actually needed. But despite all that effort, my bank account didn't grow. My stress did. Then one day something clicked. I stopped asking myself, what should I start doing? And instead asked, what do I need to stop? That simple shift in mindset changed everything for me. It wasn't easy. In fact, it meant cutting ties with things I thought were helping me, but were actually holding me back. In this video, I'm going to share the 15 things I quit to get rich, mentally, emotionally, and financially. These aren't fluffy tips or recycled advice. These are the hard truths I had to face, the habits I had to break, the toxic mindsets I had to unlearn, and yes, even the people I had to distance myself from. Some of them might surprise you, some might sting a little, but I can promise you this. If you listen with an open mind, they could change your life too. So if you're tired of spinning your wheels and you're ready to start building real wealth, stick around. Let's dive into the first thing I quit and why it made all the difference. Number 1, quitting procrastination, the silent wealth killer. You might think procrastination just delays your to-do list, but in reality, it robs you blind. It's the invisible thief of opportunity, progress, and yes, wealth. I learned that the hard way. For years, I told myself I'd start investing next month or launch that business when I'm ready. Spoiler alert, I was never ready. And every month I delayed, the compound interest that could have been working for me was quietly working against me. Let's break this down. Imagine two friends. One starts investing just $300 a month at age 25. The other waits until 35. Both invest until age 65. The early starter ends up with nearly double the wealth just from a 10-year head start. That's the brutal power of time. So I made a rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, I do it immediately. Answer that email, open that investment app, transfer that $20. The tiny things that seem meaningless, they create momentum, and momentum beats motivation every single time. For the bigger stuff, I broke them into micro steps. Instead of research ETFs, I'd write, open a brokerage account today. That shift from big vague goals to small direct actions completely rewired my habits. Because procrastination isn't about being lazy. It's about fear and overwhelm. Strip those away with simple steps, and you start winning the game of time. Number 2, quitting the instant gratification trap. Here's the truth. Wealth and impulse rarely hang out in the same room. Every time I gave into that I deserve it now voice, whether it was a $5 coffee or a last-minute Amazon haul, I wasn't just spending money. I was spending opportunity. That $5 a day doesn't sound like much, but over time, that's $150 a month, $1,800 a year. Invested at 8% for 30 years, it's over $200,000. Let that sink in. Every small feel-good moment today might be quietly trading away your financial future. So I adopted the 48-hour rule. Simple, effective. Before buying anything non-essential, I wait 2 days. No emotion, no justification, just time. And you know what? Most urges fade. The things I thought I had to have became meh after a little space. This shift wasn't about deprivation. It was about realigning my dopamine. I started chasing the high of watching my net worth grow, of seeing my investments compound. That's a longer-lasting, deeper satisfaction than anything you can buy in a checkout line. Number 3, quitting toxic relationships, the invisible tax. Here's something they don't tell you about building wealth. Your environment is everything. I used to hang out with people who laughed at budgeting, who rolled their eyes when I talked about investing. Come on, just live a little, they'd say, usually over overpriced drinks they couldn't afford. At first I laughed along, didn't want to be the boring friend, but slowly I noticed something. Their mindset was infecting mine. I stopped talking about money goals. I started hiding my ambition. I was shrinking to fit a broke mentality. So I made a tough choice. I audited my circle. If someone constantly made me feel small for trying to grow, financially, professionally, personally, they had to go. I replaced them with mentors, accountability partners, and friends who celebrated discipline, not mocked it. Because here's the deal, your net worth often mirrors your network. If you're around people who see money as evil or rich people as lucky, that scarcity mindset becomes your default. But if you're around people building businesses, investing smartly, and dreaming bigger, you level up by osmosis. And sometimes quitting isn't dramatic. It's just a quiet shift. Less time with the wrong people, more time building with the right ones. Number 4, quitting the 9-to-5 mindset. There's nothing wrong with a 9-to-5 if it fuels your goals. But if you're trying to escape it, if you're building a business, chasing freedom, or dreaming of financial independence, you've got to kill the employee mindset. I used to clock out of my day job and mentally check out. Evenings were for Netflix, weekends, a blur of distractions. Meanwhile, my competitors were using those same hours to build. While I was binging shows, they were mastering Facebook ads, learning SEO, testing product ideas, growing their side hustles into full-time income. The wake-up call came one quiet Sunday night. I realized I was treating my dream like a hobby, but expecting professional results. That's when everything changed. I started blocking off one unbreakable hour every day. No phone, no distractions, just me and the tasks that moved the needle, researching, writing, testing, pitching. 1 hour doesn't sound like much, but do that every day for a year? That's 365 hours, almost 9 full work weeks spent on your future. The truth is, the 9-to-5 mindset teaches you to trade time for money. But when you're building something of your own, time becomes your greatest asset. Use it like a founder, not an employee. Because if you don't take your dream seriously, no one else will. Number 5, quitting financial illiteracy. Not understanding money isn't just risky, it's expensive. For years, I ignored my finances. I figured I'd just make more later. I didn't budget. I didn't track spending. I avoided credit card statements like they were horror movies. But wealth doesn't reward ignorance. It rewards awareness. The turning point? I downloaded a budgeting app. Nothing fancy, just something to see where my money was going. And what I found was shocking. $80 a month on subscriptions I forgot about. Hundreds in impulse Amazon buys. Eating out 6 times a week because I deserved it. Once I started tracking, I felt like I'd put on financial night vision goggles. Everything was suddenly visible. I wasn't just reacting, I was strategizing. If budgeting feels overwhelming, start with one metric, the 50-30-20 rule. 50% to needs, 30% to wants, 20% to saving or investing. Just knowing those ratios can shift your habits dramatically. Then go deeper. Learn the difference between a Roth IRA and a traditional one. Understand how compound interest works. Know your credit score and how to improve it. Because here's the secret. Financial literacy is financial power. And the sooner you master it, the sooner your money starts working for you, instead of the other way around. Number 6, quitting the fear of failure. This one's personal. Because fear of failure, it used to run my life. I once skipped pitching an idea to a potential investor, not because it wasn't good, but because I imagined them laughing at me, tearing it apart, calling me a joke. But here's the twist. Fear of failure is really fear of judgment. The failure itself rarely hurts as much as what we think it means. Once I realized that, I started reframing failure. I saw it as data, feedback, a sign that I was doing, and doers win, period. Think about it. Richard Branson's first business flopped. Sarah Blakely got rejected by every hosiery manufacturer before Spanx took off. These weren't setbacks. They were stepping stones. The key is to detach your identity from the outcome. You're not a failure because a project didn't work. You're a scientist running an experiment. Something didn't stick? Cool. What did you learn? What's the next test? Every failed pitch made my next one sharper. Every rejected idea pushed me to better ones. Eventually, those small no's led to a yes that changed everything. If you want to get rich, you've got to be willing to fall on your face, over and over, Because behind every successful person is a graveyard of failed attempts no one sees. Number 7, quitting comparison, the thief of joy and cash. Let me say this loud. Comparison is a financial trap disguised as inspiration. It sneaks in through your phone, wrapped in Instagram filters and LinkedIn announcements. Your old classmate just posted a photo with their brand new Tesla. Suddenly, your fully paid off Honda feels like a joke. Another friend flashes a Rolex on their story, and your Casio starts looking like a toy. I've been there, scrolling, comparing, spending, not out of desire, but out of ego. But here's what no one posts: the loan payments, the stress, the credit card debt hiding behind those likes and emojis. Comparison makes you forget your goals. It swaps your plan for their performance, and most times, their performance is just curated highlights, not real financial health. I had to unfollow, mute, disconnect. Not because I was bitter, but because I needed mental space to define my own version of rich. For me, it wasn't a car or a watch. It was waking up without an alarm, taking trips without checking price tags, having time to think, read, breathe. So I wrote down my personal definition of wealth, not a dollar amount, a feeling, freedom, security, impact. And once that became my North Star, the noise faded. Because the richest people I've met, they're not flashy, they're focused, and they don't compete, they compound. Number 8, quitting emotional spending, retail therapy. Sounds harmless, right? I used to call it a treat, a $200 pair of shoes after a rough week, a new gadget when I felt unproductive. It felt good until it didn't, until the credit card bill showed up, until I looked around and realized I was drowning in stuff I didn't need, and still feeling empty. That's when it hit me. I wasn't spending to gain, I was spending to cope. Emotional spending is like a sugar rush for your brain. Quick dopamine, fast relief, but long-term, it robs your goals. It steals from future you. So I made a rule. It's called the 30-day list. Any non-essential purchase goes on it. I write it down with the date. If I still want it a month later, I can buy it, no guilt. Guess what? 9 times out of 10, I don't even remember the item, but I didn't stop there. I needed new coping mechanisms, so I swapped buying with building. Instead of shopping when I was stressed, I'd go for a walk. Listen to a finance podcast. Cook something from scratch. These gave me the same hit of control and comfort, but with zero cost. Over time, my savings grew, my stress shrank, and the real win, I no longer needed things to feel okay. Number 9, quitting high-interest debt, the quicksand. Credit card debt is like quicksand. The more you struggle without a plan, the deeper you sink. I once had over $15,000 in revolving credit card balances. Every month I paid a little, and every month the balance barely moved. It felt endless. Then I did the math. My cards had an APR of 22%. That meant for every $100 I owed, I was losing $22 a year in interest. That's insane. Imagine lighting a $20 bill on fire every month for every 100 you owe. I had to treat it like an emergency. I used the avalanche method. Here's how it works. I listed all my debts from highest to lowest interest. I paid the minimums on all, except the one with the highest rate. Every spare dollar went to that one. When it was gone, I moved to the next. I called credit card companies and asked for lower rates. Some actually said yes. I transferred balances to 0% APR cards, and I picked up a side gig just for the debt snowball. Every new dollar went to freedom, not stuff. When I made that final payment, I didn't just gain financial breathing room. I gained belief, the confidence that I could conquer anything with focus, strategy, and discipline. Debt isn't just numbers, it's weight. And every payment you make to eliminate it, that's you climbing back to the surface. Number 10, quitting the I'll invest later myth. I'll start when I have more money. That was my favorite excuse, and maybe yours too. But let's be real. If you can't invest $50 now, what makes you think you'll magically invest $500 later? This mindset is deadly because the market doesn't wait. Time is the most valuable asset you have. And every day you wait to invest is a day you lose compound growth. Let me show you how small can be powerful. Say you invest just $50 a week in a simple S&P 500 index fund. That's $200 a month. Let it grow at an average 10% annual return for 30 years. You know what that becomes? Over $400,000. That's not magic, it's math. And it's easier than ever now. Micro-investing apps let you invest spare change. Fractional shares mean you don't need hundreds of dollars to buy big-name stocks. And automation? It's your best friend. Set it, forget it, and let the system do the heavy lifting. The key isn't how much you invest at the start, it's when. Because money is like a tree. The best time to plant it was 20 years ago. The second best time? Right now, even if it's just with a few dollars. Investing later is a lie we tell ourselves to feel better about inaction. Stop waiting, start compounding. Number 11, quitting the scarcity mindset. For a long time, I believed money was scarce. I'd think, I'll never earn enough, or there's just not enough to go around. So I held back. I undercharged. I stayed quiet in salary negotiations. I said no to opportunities I didn't feel ready for. But scarcity isn't a financial condition, it's a mental one. Everything shifted when I watched someone pitch a project I had also considered. The difference? They believed they deserved it. They asked big, they got paid big. And I realized I was the only thing in my own way. So I started asking a different question. What would someone confident do? That question changed my behavior. I negotiated raises I used to shy away from. I raised my freelance rates, and clients still said yes. I pitched clients, joined masterminds, sent cold emails, all because I stopped thinking small. I even changed my language. Instead of saying, I can't afford that, I'd say, how can I afford that? That tiny switch opens your brain to solutions instead of shutting it down. Affirmations help too. Not fluffy ones, real ones. Money flows to me because I create value. There's more than enough opportunity for everyone. I said them daily. I wrote them down. Eventually, I started believing them. Abundance isn't about being reckless. It's about believing that with effort, value, and strategy, you can always earn more. Always. Number 12, quitting time for money. Most of us grow up learning one model, work hours, get paid. But that's a trap, because your hours are limited, and so is your income if it depends on time. I used to think making $40 an hour was amazing, until I realized I was capped. If I didn't work, I didn't earn. So I started looking for leverage, ways to earn without clocking in. The first step was calculating my true hourly rate. I took my income, subtracted taxes and unpaid time, and divided it by total hours worked, including commutes and side tasks. My $40 an hour? More like $22 after everything. Now think about this. If your real rate is $22 per hour, and you can pay someone $20 to do your laundry or mow your lawn, you're actually saving money by outsourcing, because you can reinvest that hour into higher value tasks, like building a business, improving a skill, or creating content. So I built systems, digital products that sold 24/7, dividend-paying stocks, affiliate marketing funnels, even renting out stuff I already own. The goal wasn't to never work. It was to make sure I wasn't only earning when I worked. Trading time for money is step one. But if you want real wealth, you need to build something that earns while you sleep. Number 13, quitting neglecting health. We rarely connect health to wealth, but they're deeply tied. I used to skip the gym, eat takeout every day, and pull all-nighters to chase financial goals. It felt like hustle, like sacrifice, until my body gave out. One morning, I woke up with a stiff back so bad I couldn't get out of bed. Weeks of chiropractor visits, over $3,000 in bills, all because I thought health was a luxury I couldn't afford. Truth is, it was an investment I couldn't afford not to make. Medical debt is the #1 cause of bankruptcy in the US. But even beyond that, poor health silently drains your earning power. You negotiate worse when you're foggy from bad sleep. You make poor decisions when your blood sugar's crashing. You get less done, take more sick days, and end up paying more for treatments you could have prevented. Now, I walk daily, I meal prep once a week. I prioritize sleep like it's a business meeting. And the ROI, massive. I think clearer, work better, and avoid costly medical surprises. Wealth isn't just about net worth. It's about your capacity to earn, grow, and thrive. And your body? That's your engine. If it breaks down, nothing else moves. So take care of it. Because a healthy entrepreneur out-earns a sick millionaire every time. Number 14, quitting perfectionism. Perfectionism is a fancy word for fear. I told myself I was waiting for the right time to launch my blog, start my business, or invest in myself. Truth, I was just scared to look foolish, to fail publicly, to not be great right away. But perfectionism is just procrastination in a suit. My first YouTube video? Terrible lighting, bad audio, 12 views. But I kept going. And over time, I got better. The views grew, the confidence grew, and eventually so did the income. Here's the truth. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. Success isn't built in one flawless move. It's built in ugly first drafts, awkward first tries, and messy first steps. Follow the 80-20 rule. Get to 80% ready, then launch. The feedback you get from the real world will teach you more than months of overthinking. Airbnb started with air mattresses. Amazon sold books from a garage. Every great thing started as something small, and honestly, kind of bad. Quit chasing perfect. Chase progress. That's where momentum lives. Number 15, quitting the "I'll start tomorrow" lie. Let's end with the most dangerous lie of all. I'll start tomorrow. It sounds harmless, responsible even. I just need one more day to prepare. But tomorrow is where dreams go to die. It's the graveyard of good intentions. I used to say, I'll start saving next month. I'll launch when I have time. I'll invest once I get a raise. And 5 years passed with nothing to show. Then I realized the gap between rich and broke isn't knowledge. It's action. It's doing the small, boring thing today, before you're ready, before it's perfect, before motivation hits. So I started small. Opened that high-yield savings account, texted a mentor, read 10 pages of a finance book. Not all at once, just one domino at a time. And that momentum, it compounded faster than money ever could. Because here's the truth. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best is right now. Not next week, not Monday, not after the holidays. Today, quit delaying. Your future self is waiting. So here's the truth. Getting rich isn't just about what you do. It's about what you stop doing. I didn't win by adding more. I won by subtracting what held me back. Procrastination, excuses, toxic habits, limiting beliefs. I quit them one by one and watched my life change. And you don't need permission. You don't need to wait. You just need to start quitting the things silently stealing your future. If even one of these hit home, don't let it be just interesting. Let it be your turning point. Pick one habit you'll quit today and own that decision. And if this helped you, help someone else. Hit that like button so more people can find this. Subscribe for more brutally honest financial content that cuts through the fluff. And in the comments, tell me, what's the one thing you quit that changed your money game? This isn't just a video, it's your wake-up call. Time to stop watching and start building.